I certainly never thought in a million years that this could happen to me. My family certainly never did. When it comes to a story like mine, there are a lot of dark details.
As one of the very first known victims of internet child exploitation, Alicia Kozak is passionate about protecting kids from dangers online. And an emerging threat she worries about now is something called sextortion.
A predator can hold a child captive long before they ever have their hands physically on them. And when it comes to sextortion, they never need to physically touch that child.
Alicia's personal story to advocacy began in 2002, when she was just 13 years old. Like so many teenagers, she loved chatting with friends, especially on the internet.
I was online, and I was talking to my friends from school in a chat room, and somebody messaged me who I thought was a boy around my own age. And what I didn't know was he had immediately begun to groom me.
Because the internet was pretty new, Alicia didn't know the red flags. She says a man lured her out of her Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania home and abducted her outside. The man held her captive in his Virginia basement, where she was raped, beaten, and tortured.
How long were you there for?
It was 4 days, and he was going to kill me, it's believed, on the day that I was rescued.
Alicia says her kidnapper live-streamed the abuse to an online audience. She said she was given a second chance when someone watching the stream recognized her face from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's poster and called in a tip to authorities. Her kidnapper was ultimately convicted and sentenced to prison.
And we start tonight with a warning about sextortion.
Since Alicia's abduction, internet crimes against children have skyrocketed.
And these criminals are continuing to extort the teenagers until a lot of them end up committing suicide.
Kids have so much more access. There's so many more pitfalls, but also predators have access to kids 24/7.
And as technology continues to evolve, so does the way predators lure kids in what law enforcement calls sextortion. Law enforcement says the cyber criminals start off pretending to be somebody else, most likely a teen. Once they gain a person's trust, they ask for explicit photos. With the photos in their possession, the criminal demands money, threatening to release the images if the teen doesn't keep sending more photos or hand over money or gift cards.
With financial sextortion, the primary motive is financial gain, and the victim set is typically boys.
Supervisory Special Agent Timothy Simon with the FBI says in early 2022, their agency saw an explosion in the number of financial sextortion incidents.
When it comes to how these crooks or these criminals are getting to our children, how savvy are they when it comes to getting them and taking advantage of them?
Unfortunately, they are very savvy. They often impersonate children of a similar age, characteristics, and location. They will locate children, they'll target them on any type of platform, social media, instant messaging, video chat, gaming platforms, pretty much any internet-capable device that a child has, they can be targeted on.
Simon says law enforcement received over 7,000 reports over the past year of online financial sextortion of minors, with at least 3,000 victims, most of them boys.
In 2022 alone, over 12 suicides of child victims within the U.S., and that number has increased since then.
Why is it different that we're seeing so many, suicides or pressure being put on our boys and most, say, our young girls?
That's a great question. We're still trying to figure that out. Our best guess at this point is just the shame and embarrassment that boys feel when they produce those images.
But we've learned a major hurdle in tackling this crime is location. Many sextortion cybercriminals are overseas. Officials with the FBI and Homeland Security say most of these sextortion perpetrators originate from Nigeria and the Ivory Coast.
For parents who sadly may have lost their child to sextortion, and they're wondering, why can't the FBI just go in there? Why can't they just get them? You know, this is one of the biggest law enforcement agencies in the world. How difficult is it for you to just go in there and nab some of these criminals?
It's not an easy solution for the FBI just to go into other countries and to take down offenders. We are working hard to do that, but as much power or authority as the FBI may have, we don't have jurisdiction or authority in countries around the world. And that's where our relationships and our partnerships with the host nation law enforcement and their government officials plays a really big role.
Kevin Metcalf is a deputy prosecuting attorney in Arkansas. He's also the CEO and founder of the National Child Protection Task Force. They provide detectives, analysts, and officers, both locally and regionally, access to investigative expertise and resources that sometimes are unavailable or underfunded in most law enforcement organizations.
The law is very slow to adapt to any kind of social changes, any technology. It's very, very slow. So everybody was trying to stay away from that. It was a super gray area, so I thought, that's where I'll go.
Metcalf says part of the problem, on top of bringing these international criminals to justice, is the amount of oversharing done by people on social media.
Once your images are out there, they're not yours anymore. You don't control them. You don't know how many times they've been downloaded, how many times they've been shared. You don't know how many of them there are that exist out here.
To show us how easy it is to find your information without you realizing it, Metcalf shared with us some of the websites cybercriminals use to track information. To test it out, he looked for my personal information online.
Oh, wow. That's my stuff and my family. It's my mom's email, my deceased father.
In other words, they do their homework on you.
Your email addresses, passwords, phone numbers, usernames, physical address, so all this, license plates.
Metcalf says even if you store images on a Google Cloud and think it's safe, you still run the risk of being compromised or hacked, which is why you need to have multiple passwords on all of your accounts and update them regularly. As for Alicia, she continues to work to protect others, sharing her story to kids at schools across the country.
Support the children. Save us from pedophiles, the pornographers, the monsters. The boogeyman is real, and he lives on the net.
She's testified before Congress and helped push for Alicia's Law, which helps secure funding for task forces and is currently in 12 states.
We have to fund the groups that can protect and rescue the children. The Internet Crimes Against Children task forces are so incredibly underfunded, and the risk is with every single child, and every single child has a device, if not more devices, that they can fall victim on.
For Investigate TV, I'm Caresse Jackman.